Rory Coutts, thanks for coming out to join us. Another bitterly disappointing night at Lords in a horrible rain-affected game. What were your thoughts on the performance, albeit in a very shortened game?
Yeah, obviously disappointing to lose the game. I think these shortened games, T20 cricket anyways, a game of fine margins, and when you shorten the chase and you shorten the amount of overs, it's obviously even smaller margins. I think at the point we came off for rain, Essex probably had a few more than we would have liked at that point, and when it did rain and the calculations were made, we were left with a tricky chase, and 80 in 6 overs would have taken something pretty heroic, given a big portion of those were on with non-power play restricted overs. So it was a game of fine margins. There's still elements we can look at to improve. Unfortunately, we ended up on the wrong end this evening.
Absolutely. I guess winning the toss at the start of the evening on a rain-affected night with pretty bleak weather forecasts, it was the obvious decision to make, was to stick them in and give us some control over the run chase.
That's exactly it. I think when you know there's weather about, the thing you have to do is control the bet you can, and at least you know what you have to chase. And as I said, if we had restricted them slightly better in that first innings, the chase would have been slightly easier, but that wasn't to be the case.
You said it yourself, Rory, they probably got a few more than we wanted up top. We've spoken at length, myself with Esky, with Jono, obviously with yourself on occasion, about our young attack. It's tough bowling in the power play overs. It's not an easy gig. What were your thoughts on how we performed again in this power play?
Yeah, it's a brutal time to bowl when you've only got 2 men out and there's batters who are looking to take advantage of only having 2 men out on the boundary. I think we obviously have areas that we need to improve, and I know Mertz and John will be speaking to the bowling group about how we do that. I think the important part is in your plans. You can't plan for an edge to fly, you can't plan for a batter to get a ball away, but what you can do is try and make sure your fields, you're clear of what your fields are, and you're trying to execute the ball that brings that field into play. So that's the bit that I know they're working hard at, and just making sure that to different batters in different situations, they have the field right, they have the plan right, and they're then able to execute with the ball that's required.
As we've been thrown into darkness as the floodlights have just gone off, I'll just ask you 2 more quick ones. DLS is obviously a fairly intricate calculation at the best of times. It does throw up some funny numbers from time to time. When we came off for rain, had a lengthy delay, we were first looking at a target of 143 off 12, which I think many people would have fancied us to have a good go at. We obviously didn't get to bowl a ball on that first restart, came back needing 80 off 6 overs, as you said, which to me seemed pretty steep. What were your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I don't really know how the calculations come about. It's maths far beyond my ability. I think you always know when overs are reduced that they have to take into account that the batting side still had time to bat, and they would, with wickets in hand, have looked up the rate and get as many as they can. So you know that there is going to be a little bit added on to what they were. So I think, were we surprised? Not really. And I think, as I said, you can only look at yourselves with the first innings bit and the position we found ourselves in, and
Rory,
the LS is out of our hands, really.
Last one, Rory. I think the way batters bat now, they're moving all around the crease, and it's never an easy job at the best of times being an umpire, but there are a few calls there made by the umpires where a bit of disgruntled noise coming from the crowd, where you thought a wide might have been called here or there. It's almost an impossible task being an umpire now because the batsmen are moving around so far. What were your own thoughts on perhaps some of those wide calls?
I haven't seen them back, to be honest. I think it is a very difficult job to do, as you said, with the amount the batters move now. I think the best thing for us to do is to focus on our cricket, the batting, the bowling, etc., and the umpires have got their job to do. So I think we're at a point where us focusing on ourselves is the best way to look at it, and we will do. We'll review the game, we'll look at areas we can improve and try and improve for tomorrow evening down in Hampshire.
Rory, thanks for your time, and go well down in Hampshire tomorrow.
Thanks, Fletch.